The story of Michael Myers is one drenched in blood, steeped in terror, and tangled in mystery. For decades he's been a figure of pure evil, relentlessly hunted by Dr. Sam Loomis, the psychiatrist determined to end him. But what if Loomis's pursuit of Michael was far more than professional? What if Michael Myers is not just Loomis's patient, but his son? Tonight, we explore a chilling, forbidden theory that Dr. Loomis is the true father of Michael Myers. Dr. Sam Loomis is an enigma himself, with a past that raises disturbing questions. Little is known about Loomis's younger years veiled in secrecy, as if he'd erased any trace of his life before he arrived at Smith's Grove Sanitarium. He claimed that he was drawn to psychiatry by a fascination with the human mind, particularly minds veering toward darkness. But why Smith's Grove? Why Haddonfield? Was there more than academic interest, and perhaps something personal? Some reports, long buried, suggest that Loomis had connections in Haddonfield long before he ever met Michael Myers. One former colleague claimed Loomis confided about a painful mistake in his youth. A secret he was determined to protect, but was this secret a child, one who would grow up to be the face of terror itself? In the early 1960s, rumors circulated about a young woman in Haddonfield, a woman Loomis allegedly knew intimately. Her name was Edith Myers. Edith was a reserved woman, described as withdrawn, with a quiet desperation. Some say Loomis had a brief, intense affair with her before disappearing from Haddonfield. Then, months later, Edith gave birth to a son, Michael Myers. Loomis's swift departure and sudden shift to Smith's Grove have led many to speculate. Did he leave to bury a connection to the very child who would later embody his darkest nightmares? Of course, nothing was confirmed, but whispers persist. Was Edith Myers more than just a patient's mother to Loomis? Could Michael Myers have been his secret child, abandoned to a fate of silence, anger, and violence? Dr. Loomis's pursuit of Michael Myers was relentless, even obsessive. Many wondered, why was he so driven to hunt down this patient? Other doctors might have treated Michael, but Loomis chose to stalk him, to travel across state lines and even risk his own life to confront him. Colleagues at Smith's Grove said Loomis would mumble to himself, "He's my responsibility, he's my creation." But what did he mean? Could it be that Michael wasn't just a patient he failed to cure, but a child he failed to raise? Consider this. What if Loomis's obsession was fueled by guilt, a father's horror at the monster he helped create, a monster he abandoned as an infant, only to find him later as a figure of pure evil? The psychological profile Loomis created for Michael has eerie undertones, almost as if he was seeing something of himself. Loomis described Michael as a blank slate, inhuman, and cold, unfeeling. But some of Loomis's private notes, later discovered by police, revealed another side. He described Michael as a boy without a father, a soul in search of identity. Did Loomis see Michael's behavior as something inherited? Was he grappling with a genetic link to his own darkness, perhaps a twisted reflection of the son he left behind? The Myers family was silent about Michael's origins. Edith never spoke publicly of her brief affair, and her husband never once questioned the dark streak in their son. After the murders, the family quietly disappeared, leaving no record of their lives, almost as if hiding from the truth. Witnesses recalled Edith's distant stares, her pained expression. It's as though she knew Michael's father, but could never say his name. Some suggest she kept Michael's origins a secret, perhaps afraid of the man who fathered him, or maybe she feared her own role in the horror she had brought into the world. In Loomis's personal writings, he describes himself as haunted by something deeper, something within my own blood. He never elaborated, but those closest to him described a man deeply troubled by shadows he couldn't shake. And then there is Michael, a figure of silence, eyes dark as voids, seemingly drawn to violence. Did Loomis recognize in Michael a reflection of his own potential for darkness? A darkness he feared because it was his own? Is it possible that Michael's evil wasn't supernatural but inherited, an unresolved rage passed down from father to son. In the end, Loomis's quest to stop Michael became his life's mission. In 1978, he faced Michael, gun in hand, determined to end his reign of terror. But some witnesses say his voice trembled, as though he wasn't simply confronting a killer but something more personal. Those who heard him say he whispered, "I'm sorry, son," just before firing. Loomis never confirmed this, but those words linger, a dark thread of rumor and possibility that chills even the most rational minds. Tonight we've ventured into forbidden territory. Did Dr. Loomis abandon a son who would become his life's greatest fear and obsession? The idea of Michael Myers as Loomis's child reframes the horror entirely. A father who condemned his son, a son who became the face of evil, locked in an eternal struggle. Perhaps Michael Myers is not just the monster we fear, but the legacy of a dark bloodline. The product of one man's hidden sins, destined to carry his father's burden, until death finally unites them. For now, the secret remains shrouded, buried deep in Haddonfield's shadows, waiting for the night to fall once more.